sweet corn. So if you've watched any of my videos before, I always go through the items that you'll need first. So here we have freezer bags. These are quart freezer bags, and a marker just to mark them when they're full. Here we have two types of measuring cups. This is for water, this is for the sweet corn. Then we have a tablespoon to go with the sugar, a teaspoon to go with the salt. We have two different types of knives. If you prefer the little Perry knife, that's why there's two types or a longer one. Of course, we have our butter. Here we have tongs to handle the corn with. And then we have a slated spoon. This is to stir when the corn, the butter, and the salt are all mixed in to our big pot, which is over here on the stove. This is what we'll be mixing all the ingredients into. Then we have two different bowls. This bigger bowl, I like to use it to get the corn off of the cob because the sides are taller, and so the corn doesn't spatter all over. Some people like to use a cake pan, and that's fine too. And this bowl here is just to put the excess cobs in when the corn is off, to either feed to the pigs, the chickens, or just throw them in the garbage can. Okay, so now that we know what we need, our next steps are going to be to shuck our corn. I already have the corn shucked. I just saved this one as an example. So you just pull the husks down, and then you want to make sure you get all the silks, these are silks here, off the corn, excess silks off. Then we're going to put this in the sink, and we will rinse off our corn just in case any dirt or anything else got on there. And then once the corn is rinsed, we will bring it back over here to the counter, and I will show you how to cut the corn off. Okay, so we are back. I have all of my washed corn in the sink behind us, and I've taken the little silks off. And so we have our big bowl here, and as you can see, I kind of rearranged the kitchen so the other items that we'll be using are just pushed off to the right here. So you're going to grab your corn on the cob, put it in your bowl. I like to use the larger knife. You're going to start at the top and work all the way down. Your pieces are going to look something like this, okay? And you'll just continue to do this all the way around the cob. And remember, don't cut too deep or you'll get pieces of the cob in there, and that doesn't taste so great. So keep cutting. And once you've made it all the way around the cob and you feel like you've gotten the majority of the corn off, then you just take your finished cob and you put it in your bowl over here. So once your bowl is full, then we'll start measuring. So what I'm going to do is just keep cutting on my corn. When my bowl gets full, I'll come back and then we'll start working out our measurements, sugar, corn, salt, water, etc. Okay, so we're back again, and you can see I've taken all of the corn off the cob. Here are your cobs. Here's the corn I have. Now for a single batch of the recipe, it calls for 8 cups of corn, 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a 1/4 pound or a stick of butter, and you start measuring your ingredients and put all of them into the pot. It doesn't matter which order you go in, just make sure you keep track of the corn and how much you have so you know to double, triple, or quadruple your recipe. So we take all the ingredients measured, put them into the pot. We bring it to a boil and boil for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up, we're going to remove it from the heat, and I will come back and I will show you how to cool your corn. Okay, so the corn has now been on the stove. It's boiled for 5 minutes. I've removed it from the heat, and now we need to cool it. So I'm going to give you just a couple different options of cooling corn. There's probably a ton, but these are the ones I've used. So here you have the bowl, and I've just put ice in it, filled it up with ice so I could put the pot in the bowl of ice, and then just keep stirring it, letting the steam off, and it'll cool that way. Also, here's a cake pan over here. You could put the corn in here just evenly and then put it in your refrigerator to cool also. Depending on how much corn you've processed though, this might not work for you. So I have like a triple batch here, so the bowl with ice works best for me. And then over here you can see I've pulled out a couple more utensils that might be useful. Here's a funnel. if you want to stick it in your quart bag, just so when you're filling it, it doesn't get sticky around when you're trying to seal. And then also a ladle. You can put a little extra juice in each bag. These are optional, so that's just up to you. And then you can see I have already labeled a quart bag. I just put the year 2016. You can put corn, whatever you want. And then the cookie sheet on the bottom is for when you have a bag filled. You'll just lay it on the cookie sheet, and then when it's full, you'll put it in the freezer. That way, they freeze evenly and they don't mold into all kinds of different shapes, or they won't stack nicely in your freezer. So again, put them on the cookie sheet, put it in the freezer, and once they're frozen, then you can stack them nicely in your freezer. Okay, so we're going to put this in here now. And then for the last part of the video, I will come back when the corn is cooled and show you how to put it in the freezer bags, and then we'll be finished. Okay, so for the purpose of the video, I haven't let the corn cool as much as I normally should, so if you see a little steam, that's why. So here I have my funnel and my bag. Let's start filling. Okay, I also have my ladle in here, so I can get a little juice. You can use the ladle solely if you want, or you can use both. Okay, once you have it filled to your desired amount, I don't fill them too full just because I don't want the juice to run out. So put our ladle in there. Seal this. Make sure you have a nice seal, especially since there's juice in there. And then again, when you lay it down on the cookie sheet, just press down a little bit so it'll have a nice uniform shape when it freezes. And then once they freeze, again, you can take them off the cookie sheet and then just stack them in your freezer. There you go, my friends. You are now an expert on